Alright, welcome back. Here we go. Next class trial. And I actually thought about who the most likely person could be the murderer and the most absurd one at that. And I actually think it. Not the regulation. No. I mean, the only one strong enough to actually heave this body is her. There's no one else who could move the body from this one place to the other place. The biggest issue with that is she kinda has an alibi, so I don't know when exactly she had the time to do that. I bet there is something I'm not aware of right now, since we separated several times. And we still don't know if there was an accomplice or not. So, the most likely accomplice could be Celeste in that case. Wait, you're dead, aren't you? Why are you not crossed out yet? Oh, you're dead too and not crossed out. Alright then. And yeah, well, let's see how this will go. And I want to get an A in every trial. That's what I want. That is my goal. So even if I need to restart, I try to be as precise on my first go as possible, but I want the A. I want my A at the end. So if I don't reach, I will probably go through once, and if I don't reach the A, I will probably redo it just to get the A. Since what other can determine the ending of the game than the grade you get after the school trial? It's the only thing so far that gave any sense of accomplishment. There was never any choice that actually gave me the feeling, yeah, that affects this, and that affects that, and oh well. In any case, everyone had heard Monokuma's proclamation, and they were gathered by the red door. And as soon as we were all there,
Monokuma appears!
why are there two? He's multiplied?
Wrong.
Nope, not multiplication. It just looks that way cause of an illusion. I'm moving so fast it only looks like I've multiplied. Can you guys tell which one is the real Monokuma?
Whew.
Can we just get on the elevator already?
Boy, tough crowd.
We're not playing along.
Stop talking.
We're not here to play with you.
Okay.
I think this is just a hint that I think this was just a major hint about that we have to look about illusions and other stuff.
Hey!
If everyone's here and ready to go, please board the paint train elevator. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Shall we?
Please!
I'm not mentally prepared yet.
What the heck?
Never be mentally prepared. You can't run away anymore, Hito. You're gonna pay for your sins.
What the heck?
I told you already I didn't do it. For serious. That reminds me, did you ever find the other costume? Or the note? Well, no, but... How unfortunate. Then it would seem we have our culprit.
Hey.
This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we get to the courtroom.
That's right.
That's right. Let's get down there first. Then the story can really begin. Yeah, good idea. That's right. I have to do it. Can't let whoever killed Hifumi and Taka get away with it. For everyone who's still alive. And for the two that lost their lives. The one who killed Hifumi and Taka. The one who killed two of our friends. Killer is... someone right here. took one last deep breath and exhaled slowly. Or exhaled. I began to walk toward the elevator. I was actually thinking recently, man, I haven't played Assassin's Creed Odyssey in a long time, and I haven't played any of the DLC even though I paid for it already. And that make this a lesson to everyone who ever buys season passes. Don't do it. You don't know when you actually don't play a game anymore. So most of the time you're paying for something that you don't see in a long time, and then when you remember it, you think, oh, but I don't want to play it anymore, since you already played it to death, even though there is new content. So I don't know. I personally will never buy season passes for anything ever again, unless I know that I want more and that it's already done. Oh, in any case, once everyone was aboard, the doors closed on their own. That was pretty random of a thought, right? And the steel box began to move. Oh, I can't wait for Cyberpunk 2020. Wait, is it actually called Cyberpunk 2020? No, it's not 2020. 20 something something. Oh, whatever. I'm excited for Cyberpunk since it was made by the dudes from The Witcher, which I also haven't finished. I never finished Blood and Wine. The clanking of the elevator kept us company as we fell further and further down. There was no going back. Until we settled all this, we couldn't go anywhere. I'm not sure how long it was before the elevator finally came to a stop. The elevator door slid open, opening up onto a cruel fate. When I see all of you gathered together like this, I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
Just the worst.
Only because of you. Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other?
What?
You really hate me so much, but I'm so cute.
Come on.
Stop goofing around and begin the trial. Don't rush me. Of course I'm gonna start it. I would never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break.
Yahoo!
I never hold out on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get your assigned seats. Wait, was that a jab onto Let's Players who would actually do just that? And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith. It's a lot of deadliness going around. A deadly class trial. Yes. Set my skills. I have the extraordinary focus. The focus gauge decreases more slowly during concentration and fever time. Effective during the non-stop debate, the hangman, and the bullet time battle. Increases the focus gauge by 2. Ambidextrous. Allow you to lock on to 2 statements at once. Effective during the bullet time battle. Okay. Hey, look at that! I'm almost at my SP limit. They must confront 2 murders who claimed the life of Hifumi and Kiyotaka. Suspicions builds up. Okay, but yeah, why not use everything that I have? Extraordinary focus, new ability. I don't know. I've already forgot the controls of a lot of things. Oh, I get ambidextrous now. Bullet time battle is the last stage. Alright, I think we're all ready to go. Always.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
I forgot already how to kill noise.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment.
I
Then
know.
I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Says the murderer.
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it. And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling.
Yeah, but the room was not locked. Someone opened it.
It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know, I don't know!
Is Hiro really the killer, or... For anything else, we have to make that clear. Okay, pay attention, That's Hiro's message. Oh, right.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
Shit. I wanted to see the control buttons. Fast forward, hold down the button, speed up the debate to fire whatever truth bullet you have loaded. Right. Truth bullet flashback. And then hold down. You can use the silencer. You can eliminate white noise by targeting it and press the A button. Eliminate white noise. This way your timer will increase. Wait, your timer will increase? Oh! Oh!
It's not true, it's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
I mean, looking at the blueprints, the handwriting is awful messy. Can I have... Ah, there we go. Let's see. Hiro had a... He does not have an alibi for when it took place. Shut the murdering now. There, everything we found in your room, the blueprints, the super, they are all proof enough that you're the culprit. Anything, it's not true, it's a conspiracy. There's only 2 things I can shoot at. There's only your room, the blueprint. Okay, let's look at the truth bullets. Wait, my gun is loaded with the dying message. Yasuhiro's message! Oh! The blueprints is the contradicting one. He has neat handwriting, but the blueprints don't reflect that. His handwriting is...
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough.
No, that's wrong. Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
Yeah, but we all agree that he is kind of an airhead.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
What to build a robot?
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
No, I don't! It's too obvious!
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
What?
Why are you surprised?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
How am I supposed to know? And of course he passes it off to me. Yeah, I'm saving.
So? Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
Just in question... The Illuminati! What?
I got it! Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
The Illuminati, really?
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
Didn't do the murder, that doesn't mean that he wasn't in the suit.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
Yeah, exactly.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
Oh, well, I think I know where this is going.
It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items.
I mean, Taka's body is pretty easy, but Hifumi's body, that's the real mystery.
Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
I mean, yeah. Sure. The blue top
I got it!
and oh, where is it? Eh? Oh, there.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
the attitude.
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body, am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body?
I mean, I don't really remember that, but...
That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room.
Was it the other way around?
It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
I don't know. I don't have that kind of memory, to be honest.
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
Oh, come on. You don't need to be so mean.
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Come on, that feels like she's directly talking to me. This is the same condescending stuff from a lot of parts of my life. Oh, I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean, but maybe I can change your mind. I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository. How do I explain that? New element has been added to the bullet. A new element? Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. Reloading. Starting with this next bullet time battle, we are gonna add one more ingredient to the recipe. At the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you see your ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements. But from now on, just locking on and pressing the Y button won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you one bullet to destroy a single remark. So just like before? Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. Huh? However, you can reload by pressing the X button. Isn't the... Oh, okay. Just like locking on, you'll have to press the X button in time with the tempo marker. Wait, what? Wait, what? Is that a battle thingy? Basically, just remember that the X button now has a function along with A and Y buttons. Okay. You will automatically reload at the start of fever time and your ammo will not decrease. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said. Yeah, maybe I should have set it to gentle. Good luck and have fun. Wait, am I actually in a battle?
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic.
Wait, didn't I?
Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
I just pressed buttons maniacally.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here.
What? I was so overwhelmed. That was too much. When you're I'm just shit at Wisdom games, I think. Especially when I'm not quite sure what to look out for. So I have to reload with the... Oh! I made mistakes that I shouldn't have done. Oh well.
When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jeez, does Celeste really hate me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
About me being crappy at this bullet battle thingy.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then... what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Look at how the body was moved, it'll be clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it? Doesn't have enough freedom of movement, right? What do you mean by that? Okay.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over. Then you could push the dolly no problem. So the killer just crouched down and carted the body off to the repository.
If you accept everything we just said, then you must realize that whoever was in the suit couldn't possibly be the culprit.
Sorry, I don't think I realize anything.
I lost health and I don't like it. Push it, you have to be able to bend over. Yeah, I know, I already saw it. You can't bend over in the costume.
Taka was killed in the...
And from there...
Yeah, the then loaded it onto the dolly.
Now, keep in mind that the dolly...
Well, yeah, but even with that, all you'd have to do is bend over.
Bend over, bend over.
No, that's wrong.
There we go.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together, remember?
I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
Get blood everywhere?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
In such a short amount of time?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
Oh no, that doesn't work because it is basically shut and you can't get out yourself. Absolutely no chance that a costume was taken off just to move the body. You can't take it off by yourself.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why would you make something that you can't take off by yourself? Didn't make the stupid frigging thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. We don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo-Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
Yeah, the picture's actually a good point. It's not in the evidence list.
You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo-Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that?
Good question. Could have taken the picture at any point in time.
Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo-Justice. That's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong? I saw a shadow, something moving around the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
and then...
Oh yeah. Yeah! Huh? Who was that scream? I forgot. What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been... Hifumi! He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into two groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the third floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi.
Wait, so there were not two announcements?
Then the three of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us, and she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for two missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
Is Celeste the culprit? But how did she move Hifumi's body if that is the case?
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated.
She's the one who questioned me. Oh no, is it Celeste? I just started to build up a friendship with her.
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. Okay, when something like this comes up, I know there's something I have to answer, so... In order to uncover the truth, I have to find them, no matter what. Nokuma 5-3? Blow to the head.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
The victims were Hifumi. The cause of death for each was a blow to the head. We thought that they were both killed with a similar weapon. Wait, with a similar weapon can mean that it just portrays the object. But what happens? What happens if similar weapon means that it is actually the same? Since we found this, hammer of all shapes and sizes were found, and this is a spotless hammer, wet and had apparently been recently washed. Does that fit with the size of the other? Were numbered, but were they really used in that order?
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
I don't know what to oppose here. Wait. Okay, I have to look at this from here. Okay, let's see. Can Taka says so if they died before or after. We already know what order they were killed in. Maybe I have to object the order because of the numbering. Is... I wonder if he died before he from a pet. Killed because of the numbering. The bullet is the Monokuma File 3. Similar weapon. Maybe what I have to do is load the bullet with a statement. Maybe I have to the order, and then I have to... I'm not sure. Oh, I can't save right now, of course. Transcript. Where's Taka King? What's up the Oh, maybe... Ah, the numbering! The Monokuma file says with a similar object. I think that is my out.
So, regarding I wonder if he died, or perhaps it was We already know what order they were killed. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because
of the numbering of the justice hammers.
Fuck! Scare me like that makes me think something weird is going on.
Shoot!
Ah, I can't...
So, regarding I wonder if he died, or perhaps it was after. We already know what order they were killed in.
Huh?
Shoot!
What?
So
they are both wrong. Don't I have anything else?
I wonder if he died before he filmed, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What?
I think this is what I have to do, but I'm not sure.
Because of the numbering of the.
Ah, come on! Stop! I have to. Bah. Okay, let's see. Maybe I'm right with this.
So, regarding Taka's death,
I wonder if he died, or perhaps it was after. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's
what
death
happened?
came...
See? So it's obvious Taka came
Oh,
after.
what did I think I didn't miss it because of... I missed it because of the noise.
Regarding I wonder if... Or perhaps it was... We already
know what order they were killed in.
Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the
numbering of the Justice Hammers.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, okay, I was right.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. Totally, have not totally forgotten about it, but yeah, if it's not because it's a similar thing and that's not the contradiction, it had to be this. And yes, I loaded.
If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order...
I mean, yeah, obviously.
But in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
something that relates to what time he must have died. Is there? Wait, what? Oh, okay. Oh, the Hangman's Gambit! Fudge. Ah, okay. Oh. Wait. S? Oh? Why is it not? Of course it's a... What? I'm not sure. Vrid? Vriz. Oh, it is S. Oh, that was my... What happens if I want to see what happens if I just fuck up. Oh, the wristwatch. Okay, but I want to purposely lose. Fail. But he believes me. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Uh-oh, have we already come to the end of the debate? Well then, the class trial is officially adjourned. Now it's time to reveal who's the blackened. No. No. That's not what's happening here. But he's right. I totally forgot about the wristwatch. There we go.
Now I understand. I've got it.
Wait.
Taka's wristwatch.
But would they really just reveal the blackened if you failed? That would be kinda sad. I mean, I'm interested to see what happens, but at the same time, I don't want to have it revealed before I actually come to the conclusion.
See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night...
Hey you! How long were you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that? Bedtime for all the little boys and girls!
So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Are we? Yeah! Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been... Fumi! He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko.
And where was Sakura and Kyobaya Fubiba, or however he was called?
Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
No, he was alive.
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Come on, just shut up.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream.
No, you were not in the flashback.
Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
Good point.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said...
Okay, I probably drop save here. We could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time? It would seem so.
His body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it.
Oh yeah, I still can't believe that I'm still alive, but I guess as the protagonist you have plot armor anyway. And nobody goes for you even though you're the weakest one.
But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third, in that short amount of time?
You have to be Sakura!
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
No, Sakura.
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
I mean, he did wake up again.
Huh?
We clearly know that he was passed out. And then he woke up one last time before actually... Oh, so the announcement was not for us discovering his body, but the announcement was for discovering Taka's body.
The dead body moved on its own?
A zombie! No, that's not it.
No! Not another... ghost!
Ooh, zoink, Scoop!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
I mean, he basically went up there somehow on his own, or with someone, and basically then succumbed to his injury, to his head trauma. What?
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
That would explain why his glasses were cleaned off with the handkerchief from his favorite anime thingy.
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
The idea that Hifumi was still alive. It is pretty far-fetched. Not far-fetched, but is it really possible? Broken wristwatch?
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
That is
Are
it.
we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was
Intended to signal someone else's
discovery.
Okay, so I was under the assumption that the announcement was made twice, but it was made once. So... The question is, why would the wristwatch appear? Made once, and Taka's body were discovered at almost exactly the same time.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without...
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the Hifumi's dead...
dead body had been found.
Fuck! I was so sure! Your meaningless words tire me. Please stop wasting my time.
Shoot!
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so? Maybe the announcement
Announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
What does that have to do with what I said? Or do you just not know what you're doing?
Shoot!
I don't know what I'm doing, truly!
Are you saying that when we first found...
I have an idea what it could be now. Someone else's discovery. I think I have to load my gun with someone else's discovery and then go onto Celeste's thingy. Wait. Why is it only showing me this? What? What the hell? No. I wanted to see...
There's a chance he would...
Oh, well, whatever. Well, I can just go through this
No.
again.
It is Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body discovered. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Okay, what was that right now? Someone else's discovery. I want to... Oh yeah! I use that and then shoot it at this. Perfect, that's what I'm doing. Okay, let's see if I'm
Are you
right.
saying that when we first found him, there's a chance he was actually...
No. It is impossible. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that.
Surely you heard the body discovery. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the...
Are we really so sure? Maybe the
Announcement was intended to signal someone
else's discovery.
Okay, there we go. It's only made once, and now we go through
Are you
this
saying
again.
that when we first found him, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. It is impossible. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that.
How? Surely you heard the body discovery announced. Hifumi's
dead body had been found.
There we go, I was
No,
right!
that's wrong.
It's getting harder, I admit. And it takes me longer,
Was the
but...
body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Wait, Celeste? Me? And I forgot the name. What was your name? Aoi? So there were 3 people. Then it was him.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Oh man, why am I not saying out loud what I was thinking to myself for some reason? Yeah, 1+ Let's Player. Or 1A+ Let's Player. I was just thinking to myself, wait, wasn't there an announcement right after Hifumi woke up and went back to being dead?
Huh? Later on?
Oh man, I actually remembered the detail, but I can't prove it because now I could just pretend to be smart. Or get some detail like that right.
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Second body discovery announcement. First time plan found each body in the nurse's office and the equipment. Ah. And both bodies were rediscovered just after Hifumi. When both bodies were rediscovered.
I got it!
Oh, okay.
We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
A body has been discovered. After a certain amount of time, which you may use however like, the class trial will begin.
It didn't seem weird at the time. But it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
But he woke up for a brief moment. So he wasn't fully dead at that time. That is something that annoys me right now.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet.
But he also wasn't fully dead when we rediscovered him.
Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
So that makes no sense. No, Taka is the one who wasn't dead yet.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
He came back to life once more.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
There is! He came back alive and told us stuff.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body.
I'm putting a save right here.
Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
She is really aggravated by us poking around so much. There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. I already know it. He woke up one more time. Isn't that then the truth bullets? Oh, and the glasses cleaning cloth. And when they first found the nurse's office, Hifumi's glasses? There we go, Hifumi's glasses.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in
how it was positioned.
Ah, fuck! I'm an idiot. Let's time me, please stop wasting.
Shoot.
Fuck! I mean, screw frick.
Well, here's one thing the first time we
Oh, I
found him,
was-
then his body
and the next time it was in the...
But when you compare his body before, other than the change in,
There was no notable difference.
Oh, there it was. God damn it. I really make a lot of mistakes while I'm impatient, don't I? Why? Why am I so impatient? It's not like time's running out. Well, it is running out, but not fast enough.
Well, here's
For
one
me to
thing
make-
we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body, and then, while me and his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body other than
The change
in
in
how it was positioned, there was no...
notable difference.
There we go.
No, that's wrong. In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
On the trash can, nurse's office was. I mean, obviously this.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right?
Now I have even more so the feeling that Celeste is the murderer.
And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
Wow, you actually remembered that mouthful?
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... what exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But why would anyone else do it?
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
Wait, what? Oh! I haven't thought about that.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained.
Wait, but why would he want to play dead? And how? What happened if the announcement wouldn't have rolled out?
It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Wait, Hifumi? And then he got killed by someone else? I wonder who Taka's body was. Hifumi?
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
Why would he move his... Wait, so Hifumi killed Taka? And Taka... And Hifumi got killed by someone else? That is a chain murder, isn't it?
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
So they don't need to explain what happens if 2 separate murders with 2 separate people were done.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
But how did it open again?
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
Okay, so it's not Sakura, but Celeste becomes more and more suspicious.
and it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
Yeah, calm down with your picture.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
I have the feeling she won't show us Jack, so it will be me who shows it.
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Took off an item? Oh, right!
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Oh, come on, grow up.
Yes, his pants.
Okay, that sounded weird.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
Found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else. For now, let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
Ah! That's the note I was telling you about! The one that told me where to go! Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
The photo of Celeste becomes more and more suspicious. When was this photo taken?
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Hifumi's pants? What?
I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Wait, what? Whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out... What?
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi.
Oh.
Right?
Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still. Can't let her get to me. Oh no! Is it another battle? No, I don't want to play this with him. Oh.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
No.
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
Remember what the note said.
"6 a.m., I believe."
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with...
Note has nothing to do with Taka. 6 a.m. Taka got killed. Did I save? Glasses, it's not. It's also not the cleaning cloth. The time does matter because of the broken wristwatch. That's what I need to clear up. Okay, then I know.
Happy had the note, right? Then the person it was in must have been Happy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Finally, I solved something without reloading. I'm so bad.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
Yep.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note.
I just realized it's $10 million and Celeste is a gambler and she gambles for a lot of money. And for her that was just a big gambling game? Nah, I can't. No, is it?
I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka, just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster, telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Oh, I hate it when they say that. Why why you always need proof? Why am I No. That phone stole the note from Taka. Oh, why? It's this.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
And we haven't tried that before because...
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip,
Is that really how it works?
leaving behind only one small scrap.
Is it actually possible? I thought when you die, all your strength will leave you and muscles stop working and you just open your hand and stuff like that. So how come that it sometimes happens that... Why come that it happens, especially in those kind of drama things, that there's something hidden in the clenched fist of someone who died? I don't get it.
Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly, which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah, after seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
What? Oh, come on, you can't be that stupid.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead.
No, he wasn't. He opened up his eyes once more, wasn't he? Or was that before we discovered them? No, it was after we discovered them again.
The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository, so he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
And they also must have been inside the repository at the same time. Since you can only lock and unlock it from the inside. Who was missing in that time frame?
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Oh, come on.
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi!
The weapon?
Oh, I know the weapon.
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it.
No, they used the hammer in the repository. That is pretty clear from the truth bullet.
But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Oh, you can't back him up on that.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers?
They didn't.
Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Neither.
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
Weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi. I really like the blue thing always shows me when I need to save most of the time. Always most of the time. Yep, that makes sense. Full picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Someone has to find the truth. I know it. I have the weird hammer thing. Spotless hammer, there we go.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info.
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers! And, that's about it.
So, from Phoenix Wright, I would say the last thing was a contradiction. So it did not have to be one of the... And he always says, that's wrong! So, in the repository, used to kill both of them are actually similar.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice
Hammer, maybe Justice.
Okay.
Well, there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody...
Sounds like a justice. Check out murdergear.com.
Well, one thing seems pretty...
The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice...
There we go.
No, that's wrong. The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
Talk about how it wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. But I think the reason Hifumi helped was that the murderer promised him to get Alter Ego back. This is how this whole thing started. After Alter Ego was lost, something terrible started to happen. And Hifumi would have done everything to get Alter Ego back. What we thought at first, but... Okay, that's definitely not the same thing again.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Say there's no chance two people work together on this?
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complete.
There was a little a little noise that came up. Are there two blackened? But yeah. It was found wet and had apparently been recently washed. The second murder wasn't planned.
Only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case,
However, there were 2 murders.
Fuck! I mean, frick. I need the... There we go. I need this. Based on the rules that have been laid out, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who can actually carry out the act can graduate. Rule holds true. It is simply impossible that two work together on this. Plain. It really applies. There's one murder, right? So, do I have to use the 2 murders and point to the impossible? Because there can't be 2 blackened. Oh, I think that is it. Even though it is hard to put it together when you first try it. It would go either way. Let's see if it works. Okay, let's do this. I mean, this is the only thing I can do.
Based on the rules that have been, even if more than one person, only the one who actually carried out the, assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two.
That is how the rule.
but that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this
Case, however, there were
2 murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and serve, assuming the rule holds true.
How does that make
No,
sense?
that's
I don't
wrong.
get it. Can someone explain? How does that make sense if I say 2 murders? Impossible.
Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Kind of, yeah.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in the scheme.
Oh, right. So alter ego could not be the case, since if they get away with it, everyone else dies.
There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you.
Yeah, you would just die.
However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
But what would be the mutual reward?
You're saying that 2 people could act as each other's accomplices to commit 2 separate murders.
People could act as each...
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. There can be... shouldn't there be a possibility to have 2 blackened if both of them kill a person?
And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating 2 separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, They made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan.
And I mean, Celeste is very manipulative. And she's a gambler to boot. So she would take the risk. Then again, she's always preaching about survival.
And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice.
Wait, there is no accomplices rules. You are allowed to have an accomplice.
Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
So that means the person who carries out the last murder is the blackened one? Or you just killed the one who were the blackened one and become the blackened one yourself?
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same, that was the main characteristic this time. Yoko must have noticed the fact from the very beginning. Which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events but entirely separate incidents. Yoko really is amazing, although, if you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Which makes her the spy in all of this, which would be super obvious, but at the same time, sometimes something very obvious has to be obvious, so you disregard it. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
True Killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. Okay, this is the time. In the debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, it's really only one person who seems to fit. Wait, what? I don't know who it is! I don't know who it is! What? I mean...
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Wait, I was right? I was just spitballing! I mean, there were... Wait, but she is it because of the photo she made us look at. She had, for some reason, the camera.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I?
But how did she accomplish that? Accomplish, I mean.
I really do hate this kind of joke.
But the fact that the game continues is that I'm right.
A joke? I wonder.
But she is the one who acted most suspicious and disregarded a lot of stuff. And we even had a battle with her, so...
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi.
But why?
The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless goddamn idiot!
Oh boy!
Pardonnez-moi.
Oh, Celeste, I wanted to have a good time with you, and now I can't deepen our friendship anymore. And I have so many whips to still give you.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What? Is it that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? The screaming, the paper hidden in Hifumi's hand? Countering the suspicious individual.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
True.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Screw you too!
Sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct?
Why did Hifumi in his last moment say Yasuhiro? Or Yasuhiro? Why didn't he say her name?
And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
Saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He went off as soon as I screamed. He was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He is in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split into two groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well, then Makoto and Tina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it?
Okay.
It was your way of telling him, we are on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
That was not that loud of a scream.
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. You're all going to die here. Going to die just like those guys did. Died, I mean.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Isn't she usually so collected?
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed, so Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead.
Oh.
Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
She knew Taka was dead before they actually said Taka died too.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
That Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. What is he alluding to? I mean, it is pretty obvious. The problem is that she said, just like those guys. And guys means two.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Only have known about Hifumi's death. I mean, I know it is the guys part. So I have to find the bullet. No, wait, this is the wrong thing. I need the... There we go. Okay, let's see. All I said was, I must have really been enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. It must be positively related. We are all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys. Enjoy the sight of... sense. I don't think the truth bullet is what actually gives me the answer here. And what they mean is she said it before actually Taka... Before they actually said that Taka was killed in the first place. I'm like... So strange about Celeste. So strange. What would make more sense? Putting this, taking this so strange and use it on those guys? Us all? I think I take the so strange part.
All I said was they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die. We are going to die. Just like, and that is all I.
And that's all it takes to finish this. What was so
Strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be positive. We are all going to die. We are going to die.
Just like those.
There we go, I was
No,
right!
that's wrong.
Huh? Counter attack! Why, oh, good.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
Huh, true.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
Yeah, that's the one thing that is... I have the feeling this is just forged evidence.
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Nope, that's not possible because the camera doesn't have a timer.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, There is no other explanation.
Other explanations? It wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. It is a picture of Hifumi dragging Robo Justice away. He's carrying him. Yes, Hifumi's dragging the suspect away.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible.
Is it? Is it really?
Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Oh boy. Let's think she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. Okay, I am curious now. Is that really possible? Oh no.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him
Oh. Carry my weight.
You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
She said that she couldn't bend at the waist.
You dressed me up in that suit!
Have the arms bent like this.
Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
What? That is not right! Ah!
Shoot!
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, as you can see in the picture,
If the person inside the suit, there's no way they could stand up straight.
Oh, that would be the
No,
right
that's
answer?
wrong.
Screw me.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
hem bent at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Oh, look at that face. That's a guilty face.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Uh-oh.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Oh, Jesus! What a sight is this? Oh my... Oh no! What do you mean, checkmate? She's a gambler. And she plays games that are luck-based. And checkmate is a strategy game, though. So... It doesn't require luck.
Celeste?
That's a cool sight.
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
That is true. That is what I was wondering. Hey, Fumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? Kill me? That's right. Remember their name? Yeah, Yasu. Oh.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
But why did he say it?
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait! But my name isn't really Yasuhiro! It's actually Taro!
Wait, what? Is that really true? What? But it says Yasuhiro Harakakure. What?
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Oh boy.
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Since last time he gave everyone nicknames. Oh no. I don't know! I forgot! He said for serious a lot. Is everyone nicknames? No, that's...
I got it!
Yeah, the
That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
I mean, the one with the nicknames is the Jill person. How is it? Oh, how's she called? Genocide Jill. She's the one with the nicknames. What was the other one for serious? Yeah, that was probably someone else. So that was the only possibility.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name.
I mean, yeah, but the problem is, why did he say it in the first place?
Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation?
For a gambler, no less.
No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
Wait, what? Celestia Ludenberg.
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to.
Is there? I don't see that.
And that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
I mean, that is true.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit!
Okay, but yeah, why would Hifumi know the name?
Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you?
I mean, you are a sore loser right now. But then again, if your life is on the line, everyone would become a sore loser.
Well, do I?
Yes.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
A little?
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine! Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
But that is not your real name. I still won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. Oh, it's the battle thing, isn't it? We have to battle. Oh boy. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like the game anymore. Since I have to reload now. Yeah. Oh.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name.
Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me...
Ha! Your e-head book! Your e-head book is the one to contradict you!
That's it! The handbook!
It has to have the real name. Monokuma knows everything about us, so he also knows our real identities.
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
This handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. No, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Oh, that's like a guilty verdict.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Oh, don't try to be nice to her. I think she will take it the wrong way.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because...
You're a gambler.
Because... Until the game's over, you never know what might happen!
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes.
Okay, it's picture book time!
And that'll bring everything to an end.
Closing statement. Final climax! Okay, let's see. Okay. Let's see. What would the chips thing be good for? Wait, why? That doesn't. One. Okay, that is Hifumi's room. Full of stuff. This seems to be such a dull thing to put there. Okay, got. That must be the time, otherwise he would not have showed up. That must be him. Put this up. Emma is in position. No, this hammer 4 has to come later. No, there's just this hammer 4. The one. Wait, what is this? Or does this come here? Wait, why is this suddenly... There's suddenly more! Do they appear as I remove them? Nah, that can't be it. This is the library. We found him in there. Wait. Oh, wait. There's the clock. The past... There we go. It's past 6 on this one. That is 1 o'clock. So he had to be there. Okay, we are in the library. There should be Justice Hammer 2 in here. There's his office. Then there's Justice Hammer 3. Because they wanted to go a fast one on us. There. Oh no, look at that. And then the last act. Let's see, this makes sense. This makes sense. Justice Hammer 2 was there. Wait, it says Justice Hammer? Or this. The only picture I'm not sure of is this one. And this one. Why would the chips thingy be there? I guess I can't save right now. The only thing that doesn't make sense is the chips. Is that how she bribes him, or... I mean, this... Or maybe this. This makes a little more sense. Okay, let's try.
The killer is you! Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
Ah, okay, good. Oh!
Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning.
Ah, okay, good.
That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him...
Yeah, but why did he agree? Why did Hifumi agree? I still don't understand why Hifumi actually helped. I mean, he would have died.
They drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims to solidify Robo Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds. That the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered.
This image with the blood.
He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is... Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
But still, why did he help? What could he gain from it?
I lost?
I still am not convinced how she convinced Hifumi to help her.
I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Oh.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
There we go. Looks like an A to me. Wait, where did I get the B though? Oh, that was the battle. Oh, I know what this was. Yeah, that was. Yeah. Yeah, alright then. There we go. Wait, I got 102 medals for that? Or I am at 102 medals?